Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be the first impressions that I have of this new Future Revolution Marvel game that's been hitting the scene with a soft launch. And this is going to be a two-part series where I meet up with my good friend ColdBrew to talk about the positives and the negatives of our first impressions for this game. Over on ColdBrew's channel, we're going to be talking about the positives, the good things that we liked. And then in this video on my channel, we're going to be talking about some of the criticisms and negative aspects of the game. So let's get into it. Alrighty, now I am here with my good friend ColdBrew. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome. So we are actually doing a two-part series. So we're going to be covering just some of our initial thoughts and first impressions of this new Marvel game called Future Revolutions. If you're curious, if you haven't seen ColdBrew's video yet, if you're from my channel, we will have the other part down below in a pinned comment and in the vid description. And basically, you can't really go download this game and play it right now. It's only a soft launch, and I believe it's only Canada, so you'd have to go jump through some hoops with VPNs and that type of stuff to make it work. And I believe it's also only Android, so you have to use like BlueStacks, LD Player. But that's a dedicated video on how to actually play it. But the gist of it is it's gonna be hard launching here in about 3 months. So we've been kind of going hard for a couple days here, and we wanted to give you our first impressions. We covered the negatives on my channel and the positives on ColdBrew's channel. So you're gonna see like a little bit of a different take on the two different videos. But yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. What is the main negative thing from your point of view of playing so far?
The main negative, so far, like the biggest negative about the game, I would say it's monetization. I feel like it might be a little bit too much in the sense that I've been playing only for about 42 levels, and I've had numerous packs being offered. They're not spammed in the sense like Raid is, where they're right in your face when you log in. There's just one icon on the top of the screen of the UI that is just blinking,
Yep.
which has all the packs offered there, but it gives you the option to buy something. And where I feel negative about this is that it gives you some options of buying a few packs that give gear, and the gear has a certain level, which, let's say, a pack that I have now has a level 40. It's a level 40 badge, okay, for your character.
Mm-hmm.
This will be replaced 100%. This will be replaced once you reach level 50, and this is very common in ARPGs, where any gear that you pick up throughout your leveling is quickly replaced once you reach the end game. So having packs offered all the time, which have these kind of non-permanent, I would say, it might be bad for the players, because if somebody doesn't realize it from the beginning, he's going to spend some money, and it's going to feel bad for him to be spending money, maybe go out of budget for a game, and then have all that be replaced once he is a weekend into the game, 2 weeks, and all that money he spent, it's going to feel wasted. So I think maybe that should be toned down a little bit, or provide more, maybe more crystals, which is a premium currency, instead, as pack offers are offered, with every level or whatever. So maybe monetization should be changed a little bit.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
Yep. The monetization, it doesn't feel like spending money doesn't feel good. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but the monetization doesn't, like, because I think both you and me kind of went into this like, hey, we don't mind spending 25, 30 bucks if we're going to dive in and try a game out. But it, like, spending that like 30 bucks doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like you're actually gaining something or having more fun, or so it's kind of the monetization. I agree with you. I would shade towards negative on. It just, there's no like XP boost for 1 week, or like, to help you get up and running. Like, it's just a little bit like in Raid, you can buy the Raid pass and progress faster, get more silver, more XP. You can buy shards, which have permanent value. Oh my gosh, I pulled Miscreated Monster, I pulled Apothecary, boom, that's permanent value. Like, there, it's not, there's not like that dopamine or that faster like progression. It doesn't feel as good as like a game like Raid that really pulled off the beginner monetization and kind of ropes you in.
Yeah, exactly. I think if more packs are offered like a weekly value or a monthly value, that is, yeah, even if it's just premium currency, but it's more, it feels more worth to the player, then that's gonna be better for players who do want to spend.
Hmm.
So I think definitely like buying packs just to get through to level 40 feels such a big waste.
Yep.
And like now I'm stuck on a boss. I could buy a pack, make my character stronger, but he's gonna be stronger until the next barrier, which is gonna be maybe level 50, a boss at level 50 storyline, which yeah, it doesn't feel like the answer to to all my troubles would be going through to my credit card.
Yeah, yeah, and that kind of segues me into a negative that I'll cross off the list here, and that is the boss kind of checkpoints. So the way the game works, if you haven't played it yet, you've got your main storyline, and you kind of blast through some easy quests, and then you get eventually to a boss fight of that area, and then you beat the boss, and then you progress to some more easy quests, and then another boss. Well, you can like technically group up with your friends for the easy part of it when you don't even need to group up. But then for the boss part of it, you have to do it solo. You can't play with friends. You can't do anything. So it's like reversed, I think. Like, I think you should be able to group up for the hardest part. That would make more sense to me. I don't understand. Like, okay, like, so what? It's the storyline. So what if somebody has a friend help them beat a boss? Like, it's not like you're, I don't know. I don't get, like, it's a RPG. Like, let people play with their friends. I hate that. I have to fight bosses solo, and like ColdBrew and we can't group up and just play the game and progress together. It's like weird how the questing works, and like getting on the same screen as each other, and like I just want you to be able to like automatically like group up and go like you can in a game like Diablo. So that left a
Yeah,
very sour taste in my mouth.
yeah. So I was a few levels above you yesterday when we see if we could record something as a let's play kind of thing, and then maybe give our opinions after that. But we couldn't understand where the grouping was in this game. Like we could get into a group, but we couldn't actually go together and do leveling up together. We couldn't do that. Um, so yeah, that was a bit disappointing. Um,
Yep,
yeah,
and also the boss fights are it's pretty difficult. They're definitely a checkpoint for your progression, and it's really annoying. The boss fight is always after like 10 minutes of miscellaneous stuff you got to do, and when you die to the boss, you got to redo that 10 minutes of stuff every time you want to try the boss. So this game would be way better if you did all the easy stuff and then there was like a checkpoint at the boss. So like, oh, okay, I lost, let me go change my build a little bit, and then boom, I can retry. But instead, it's like a 20-minute endeavor just to try the boss again. Like, you fight 10 minutes of stuff to get to it, then you fight it for 10 minutes and end up losing, and you get literally nothing. Like not even 0.1% XP. You literally just wasted 20 minutes. There was no point to play. And that, I think that's gonna make players like just click the X. Like, okay, I'm done. They're just gonna click the,
GTX.
it leaves a very bad feeling when you're just like wasting 20-40 minutes and you're just losing and you gained nothing, and you can't group up. You can't be like, okay, let me message a friend and see if they'll help me. It's just, it makes you feel very trapped, and I think it's going to cause people to just click the X and be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, definitely. If we had some sort of rewards for at least beating all the way to the boss, and then that
Yeah,
checkpoint, that would make
yeah.
it so better, so much better to the players. Like you were ready to quit last night when we you were trying a boss, and you were like, "I have to repeat this."
I
You're
was just,
yelling at me.
I was like, this is so annoying. Like, just give me a checkpoint.
Yeah, yeah. It can definitely be annoying, and I mean, I don't go away from challenges in terms of bosses. I enjoy a challenge on a boss, but the challenge is not getting to the boss. Definitely not getting to the boss. It shouldn't be so much grind to get there.
Yeah, that's not the point at all. Like, I'm not complaining that the boss fights are hard. Like, that's fine.
Mhm.
I enjoy a challenge. The annoying part, like you said, is that I can't just like try to overcome it. I got to do all this slough to get to it, and then I can't like enjoy the tough part of the game with a friend. But in their defense, in the end game, there may be a lot more opportunities to group up and do things. But I just think you really got to get it right early in a player's experience, or they're gonna quit your game. Like the getting the first 10 hours right is super important. People shouldn't have to play for 50 hours to feel like they can like raid with friends and do stuff. But anyway, that was definitely a massive negative. Another simple one I want to talk about is the cutscenes. There needs to be an ability to auto skip. Like you find it feels like you spend half your time on this game spamming left click or like spamming tapping the screen, like trying to progress, and then you're doing the blitzes and you've done them 10 times and it's still playing the same cutscenes. Like there should be an ability in the menu just like auto skip cutscenes. That would save you 10,000 clicks a day. Like
Yeah, yeah, it would definitely save you a lot of time, especially when you know you don't care about the story. Like if you're doing this on an alt, because in this game you can actually make another character and go through the story again, level him up all the way to 100. You've done it once, you know all the story. You don't want to repeat all the cutscenes again. They're gonna be the same. Like I've done a second character. It's the same story, but with a different,
perspective.
different, yeah, perspective on it. So it's the same story. It doesn't change that much. The side quests are not important for you to follow through with. There's no lore or anything through those. It's just random stuff, just picking up and killing things. So there's no reason for you not to skip those if you want to. Yeah, I would definitely say it would be great if we had an auto skip in the settings, so we could enable it if we want to.
Yep. And then you wanted to talk about the boss mechanics, I think you had mentioned.
Yeah, another negative, although not the biggest negative, like more than monetization, was the bosses sometimes would they're gonna hit you. Sometimes they give you some kind of visual warning in the sense before they'll do their big damaging attack. There's gonna be some visual warning which, yeah, dodge that. Don't get hit by that because you'll die. Sometimes that happens. Other times that does not happen, or it's not very clear that you need to be a little bit further away from that visual warning because it's still gonna hit you. I think you had that happen to you last night when you were sharing a screen. You thought you dodged a skill, but you actually didn't dodge it
Yeah, like
because
yeah, you're like way far away from it, but the hitbox is like displayed weird in the 3D environment or whatever, and it hits you, and you're like, what?
yeah, because the game is not very simple. You can actually even fly, and that adds a different perspective to the moves that are being thrown out by the boss. The boss that I'm on right now, which I'm stuck a little bit, is one that does a big attack move on the flying plane, if you get what I mean. So you have to be landed to
Yep.
dodge it.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
so it's kind of tough going up and down, left and right, and also trying to attack as well, dodging all the time. It's much harder playing on an emulator, so it might be that also. But they could they could improve a little bit the hitboxes at least, so that they reduce the frustration that's gonna come out of not only going to the boss again, taking those 10 minutes every time to get to the boss, failing, and then having to go and do that all over again.
Yeah, and I think you will have more control like on mobile probably for like the tough fights. Which I wish they had a better camera panning. I had that written down. You can lock on to targets, but the camera gets all weird. Like I wish the camera would like automatically center on your locked on target and like rotate around them. I wish there was something in the settings where you could have like a box you could check for a camera lock, something like that to help you rotate and really keep things centered on your target, especially for boss fights and stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. It would be a nice change because now I just have to I guess slide the screen
Yep.
so I can move my character's viewpoint so I see what I'm hitting,
Hmm.
because that doesn't always happen even if there's three different perspectives, three different camera view angles that I can choose from. None of them has that auto mechanic.
Yep. And then the last thing I had written down here, which was a pretty big one, which was kind of a turn off for me, was like the progression avenues when you're stuck. It doesn't really feel like there's anything you can do. Like, so like what you're looking at on the screen right now is me just kind of like auto farming enemies in one of the zones. And if you look up the XP in the top left, it barely moves. It's like 0.01 every like 2 or 3 kills. Like it's, so what are you supposed to do? Like farm this for 88 hours and like to get one level, because you only get like a certain amount of blitzes a day, which is kind of like your little raid thing where you can find upgrades. You get like 3 or 6 of them a day, and then you're done. And there's not like in Diablo, okay, I'm just gonna go farm some rifts, hopefully I'll upgrade some legendary gems, I'll find a new piece of gear. Like you're just kind of like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, and then there's not even like good opportunities like monetization. Like if you just want to like whale out, I mean, it doesn't really feel like you'd get any guaranteed return. So I struggled with like, okay, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. Cool.
Yeah, I was a little bit stuck, as you said. There's obviously no place where you can farm XP so that you can improve your power immediately. The biggest XP source is the main storyline. So unfortunately, if you're stuck on the main storyline, you won't progress your character's levels at all compared to the XP that you'll be getting. Because main quests give you maybe 60% of the level worth of XP. The side quests that you can do maybe give you 5% at most.
Yeah, not even. It's like, yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, it also depends on your level. So
Yeah.
if you're in an area where the side quests are quite different. Now I just got 4,000 XP compared to 100,000 XP that I would get out of a main
Well,
quest.
and also the side quests are finite. Like you do a few of them and you're done. Like that's it.
Right. So if you do those and you're still stuck, then you're kind of feeling, should I be spending money? What should I do? I want to progress. So there is some guidelines, like there is a big button if you press the top right that says how to become stronger, but it doesn't make it clear. So they could have made it more clear. I don't know if you're showing it, but they could have made it more clear to the players on, okay, how do I acquire all these, like improve my squad rank? How do I improve my cards, my cores? How do I do all that? It should be like maybe an improved tutorial in that sense of improving your character once you reach that wall.
Yep. And that might get a little bit better in the end game once you get to a certain point and you unlock more of the operations like the special ops and the battle challenge and the raid. But like the first like 10 to 15 hours you're playing, it's gonna feel a little bit weird when you get stuck. You're gonna be like, okay, I'm stuck. What do I do now? because
Yeah,
because I feel like it's so all or nothing on the like XP progression. Like the main story is like super impactful, and the side quests and like the side farming are just nothing. Like it's just worthless. So it's like all or nothing. So it's very weird how it's split there.
yeah, it's so different in the sense of other ARPGs that I play. Like Diablo, you could farm bounties, which is like almost like side quest, I would say, and you could totally level up from 1 to 60 through
Yep.
those,
Yep.
just through those,
Yep.
instead of going through all this trouble.
And you can do you can't do greater rifts for free, but you can do regular rifts for free and at least farm up your gold and farm up some keys and some resources to do crafting. Like Diablo 3, I mean, it's not a perfect game, but at least it did have like very clear avenues for you to progress for free without spending money, which I'm struggling to see how that happens for players in their first 20 hours on this game.
Yeah. Um, and then we come back to monetization. Like the player will feel like, oh, do I need to spend now? And if I spend, is that gonna stick? No, it's not gonna stick. You're gonna find another hard boss 10 levels after this one, and you're gonna have the same question again. Should I spend now? And it shouldn't be only spending the answer in a game. If you're trying to add difficulty to it, you need to give some solutions to the players that are more obvious than not. Maybe it's something obvious and we're not finding it, but I don't think it's that.
Yeah, I mean that is worth noting. Like maybe we're just missing thing? Like, we're just giving you our first impressions.
Yeah, it's about 15 hours at most of play
Yeah, I think you're about
each.
I think you're about like 16 to 20, and I'm about like 12 to 14, somewhere in there. Been going hard for like the last 2 or 3
Yeah,
days.
average. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't want to be super negative, so I want to at least cover one positive that we didn't cover in your video, and that is the skills. I think this is super cool. They actually show you the animations of the skills as you click through them. Like, imagine if Raid did that in the champion index. Like, you click on a skill and it shows them casting it. It actually shows what it does to enemies. So you can really get an immersion effect of like, okay, so if I do this build, this is what's going to be happening. Then you can get different masteries as you level up each skill. And probably the biggest positive is what I can tell, these upgrade with gold, which is like free to play acquirable currency. It's not like books, you know?
Yeah, from what I see, even like the level 77 upgrade it still costs gold to upgrade. So at least this part of the skills, it seems that it's only gold, which is achievable to farm.
Yep.
Definitely. And I love that you can see what the skill is doing, see, oh, this is so cool, this upgrade is so cool. And there's different customizations that you can do, because one build can be different for one character, and then the other character that you find against you in PvP might have a different build, which is cool.
Yeah, you can have like
But
a PvE build, a PvP build, and then like a single target build. You get 3 different builds you can have kind of predetermined and set up. So yeah, I think
and that's free.
yeah, yep, and that's free. I think the skills part of it is pretty solid. I'd give the skills part of it like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. So I wanted to at least say something positive and not just be all negative in my video, and have people think I'm just here to rant and be
Yeah.
awful. Because I think we'll wrap up with our general score of the game. What would you give it like out of 10 so far as like a first beginner's impressions?
Out of 10, I would give it I can't give it a 10, obviously. I'll give it an 8. 8 out of 10.
Okay.
And that's I'm positive about the game, but I'm giving it an 8 because I want to see, I still want to see some improvements, because I don't consider myself as a general population, because I have maybe a positive bias to it already, because I played a very similar game in the past with Marvel called Marvel Heroes. It was a PC client only game. It had very similar kind of graphics and skills, and I enjoyed it a lot. So maybe I have a positive bias to it throughout. But as an overall game, from a general audience view, yeah, 8 out of 10. Is
Okay.
that too strict?
No. I see. I would give it a 5.5. I
5.5. So
Yep.
oof.
I would say slightly positive. Like if 5 is dead neutral, I would say slightly positive. I would be on 5.5.
I did not expect a 5.5, to be honest.
What'd you expect?
Maybe a 6.5,
Oh,
7.
yeah. I just I think it could get there. I think it has potential.
Mm,
Like it's a soft launch, so maybe it gets there. Maybe by the time the game goes live, they've got some of these. They've got a lot more cool features. They have done some patches. Like it's possible it gets to a 7.5, 8 for me. But in its
right.
current state, I'm kind of like I'm pretty neutral, like slightly positive. I'd say so. I'd say 5.5.
Right. I get it. I get it. Like, we covered a lot of things, and
You
I
know,
guess I guess I guess this is not for you then. Like, you wouldn't play this game a month from now.
yeah, I like just my honest opinion. I don't see this game having staying power. I don't. I see this game being like kind of cool for a few months. I don't see it being a main game like for 2 years. I just don't personally. Do you? I mean, I guess I haven't
Um,
experienced the end game, but
yeah, yeah, I can't give that depth of view just yet, unfortunately. But
because this happens a lot. Like I've seen this gaming community in the last 3 years, and it's like Exos Heroes and all these games, the Seven Deadly Sins. Like everybody on YouTube is, oh my gosh, this is like just the most incredible game, and then it's dead in a month. Like, so I see this happen
It
over
happens.
and
It does
over
happen.
and over and over with all these YouTubers like shouting about how awesome a game is, and then it's dead in a month. So I like, right now, I don't.
I mean, yeah, I mean those games are dead. Maybe for the general, maybe um, content creators like us. We tried maybe Genshin Impact. We tried it for a little bit. We tried Seven Deadly Sins. We
Well,
tried all
Genshin
those.
Impact is super successful. That one is,
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. It's
yeah.
like some of those, like the general audience tries it out. Every content creator tries it out, but not many stick with it. But there's still lots of people who play it. Like Genshin
Yeah.
Impact is the most successful one I can think of.
Yeah, when I
Then it's
say
Seven Deadly Sins for sure.
when I say dead, I don't mean it's completely dead, but I mean it's like
Yeah, yeah,
what I mean is it's overhyped. That's what I mean. It's overhyped. Would be a better
yeah.
description, and I keep seeing that over and over. So I try to be like realistic, and that's my first assessment. Is I see this being cool for a few months. But I'm skeptical of the main game staying power but like I said, it's a soft launch and maybe that changes and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I get to the end game and it's just incredible and I'm like, maybe I'll be doing another video. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I was so wrong. This game's like, maybe, you know?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see in some time, but maybe this is not the game for us. Maybe Diablo Immortal is the game, which is expected.
Yeah.
Hopefully, end
Yeah,
of the year.
that's yeah,
Maybe.
Diablo Immortal's getting really good, or I would say like generally positive feedback and reviews. I haven't been able to play it personally, but I have talked to people who have 500 hours in it. I've got videos on my channel covering it. I've talked to, like, the best players for Diablo Immortal, and they say it does have staying power, and it's gonna be a bit. But you know, that's a different video for a different day. But yeah, you know, we'll just gotta see how it shakes out. But hey,
We'll see.
thanks for joining me. And like I said, the other part of this series where we talk about more of the good stuff of this game, the positives that we took away from our beginner impressions will be down there in ColdBrew's video. So yeah, thanks, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, man. See ya.
Alrighty, so that's going to do it for this one. Huge shout out to my good friend ColdBrew. Remember, this is a two-part series, so if your first voyage into this video is on my channel, down below in the video description and a pinned comment, you can check out the more positive aspects of this game from ColdBrew's channel that he has posted. So that'll do it for me on this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.